Good morning, Olive Mennonite Church family and friends. We're happy to have you tune in, and it's great to be able to connect with you during the middle of the week. I don't know about you, but this Wednesday, running a little short on the energy, and so it's an extra cup of coffee, or maybe more like an extra pot of coffee. I don't always brew myself another pot, but today I did, and so. But today is whether I need coffee or not. Today's going to happen, right? And so I heard a quote today, last week. Actually, I saw it on Instagram from a friend of mine, Freebert, and he put some wisdom out onto the old Instagram sometimes. Anyway, he gave this quote. He put this quote out there that says, "A person with a passion for Christ is not necessarily always talking about Christ, but is looking at everything through the lens of Christ." And I think this is such a wonderful piece for us to hold on to today on these extra cup of coffee days, or these days that life just seems to be throwing things at us. It's our evangelism, our sharing of the gospel isn't always in needing to sit down with somebody and say, Jesus is awesome, you need Jesus. And it's not always pointing out something in somebody's life that say, wow, that's really messed up. I don't think that's in line with Jesus. Yes, there are times when we can do that. But I think so much of our evangelism, of our impact in the world, can be how we look at the world through the lens of Christ, instead of just looking at it through my lens. And this is something that I need to keep working on. I need to keep growing in. And this gets into what we're looking at with this next week of we see the world, things happening in the world, and in the last number of weeks, we've talked a lot about our internal building and growing. And now this week, it's not just letting the world happen to us, but how can we now become hope-filled advocates to the world around us? And I think this quote is so important that as we look at that and the way that people see us and see the way that we view the world, not as a place that's falling apart and distraught. Yeah, there are areas like that, but through, when we have Jesus, we have hope, and viewing the world through this hope just lets us experience the world around us, I think, in a completely different way, that our neighbors, our co-workers, our friends at school will see that we react differently to the things around us. And yeah, sometimes we need to dig a little deeper, and maybe we need to brew an extra pot of coffee. But I think our witness and our testimony can be the strongest when our lives just revolve around Christ, and we enter in and engage those around us through this lens. And when we do that, we're going to start sensing nudges on our heart, not just seeing things, but engaging in the world around us. And it might be with our neighbors, it might be with a person at work, or somebody we met at the grocery store and we keep running into. So I want you to start thinking again. We did this a while back, and we have a survey coming up this week for those of us who are regular attenders here at Olive. But what's laying on your heart? What are you heart sensitive to? With seeing people in the world around us, there's something there that God is putting something a little bit heavier on your heart that He might want you to engage in. It might be with a group of people, or with an event that you have an idea to do, or it might be mentoring, or one person that you might see. And it's not about having and talking about Christ. It's not about having all of the right words, but how you engage with this person as you view them through the lens of Christ. And when we do that, I think we can view the world with a compassion and a love and a peace that when we're not looking at it through the lens of Christ, it can get distorted. So I encourage you, this is my encouragement today. Look at life through the lens of Christ, and see where that leads you. See what that's laying on your heart as a place to engage, so that we can be hope-filled advocates to the world around us. Have a wonderful week, everyone.